All right.
Alrighty.
Second episode of Brokehorsedad here.
Yep.
So,
Brokehorsedad podcast.
our first one went okay, I think. We got a couple people who watched it, so that's kind of cool. Didn't
Yeah.
expect that. All right, so I think today we're going to talk about what's it like being a horse dad, and also what's it like.
Oh, being the daughter of a horse dad?
There you go. So, in case you don't know, I am the host, Brokehorsedad,
We
also
are
known as
the
Eric,
hosts.
and you are the co host.
We are the hosts. Brokehorsedad, Eric, and his amazing child, Ariana.
I'm pretty sure we video from the last episode. It
Mm,
clearly states you
nope.
calling me the
Uh-uh.
host.
I, I am the host as well.
As always, she's always trying to take over.
Not trying to take over. We are equally the host.
All right, so why don't we get right on into it? So, what's it like having a dad that's very, I like to think I am at least, very involved in your horse world?
It is pretty great. Honestly, very, very grateful to have a dad that's very in with the sport. Sometimes he needs to leave me alone with my horse though, but very grateful. Honestly, very grateful to have both of my parents to being this involved and grateful and being this involved in the sport and they support me a lot, a lot. But sometimes I'm at the barn to be peacefully alone with my horse and he will not leave my horse's side. I'm like, please just let me think my
That's because
thoughts and be
your
alone.
horse needs treats.
I give her treats.
That is my job. All
I give
right.
her treats. Like you literally just stand there, petting her neck, or she always just hugs her and just stands there. And I'm like, I'm trying to tack up my horse, please.
It's actually kind of interesting how we started off when she was younger with the shows and right to a point we're at now with her at the shows are two completely different ways we interact. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
so tell me, like, you think of a story where you're like, I am so wish my dad was not here.
Um, if I have a bad ride, he is so like he genuinely means well, trying to be like, oh, you did fine, you did fine, you did fine. If I have a bad ride, I will be mood is ruined for the next 5 to 10 business days. And I think he just kind of has to accept that mood will be ruined.
Do you actually know what business day is?
It stops on the weekends.
That's right. But
It's
who works on the weekends?
not okay. They work really. They're paramedics,
Ah,
so they work weird shifts. They work 4 days on and 4 days off. So they'll work
so
Friday,
are you trying to tell me that I actually support you too much, that I am
no, you
causing you to
support me lots, but
leave you the hell alone?
yes.
Ah, okay. I'm a horse dad. I never was a horse dad, never knew much about horses. We got into horses, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I have learned so much over there like, I remember there was one time with our horse, Finn, which we had before Ruby. I was with Ariana, and we're like, okay, we have to get him ready to get into the arena for a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out from the field and he had almost dreadlocks
He
of
was
mud.
head to toe coated in mud. And this is the story that I'm thinking about right
Yeah,
now.
like just covered. I'm like, I gotta clean him up a bit. It's also winter time, and I don't know any better, right? So I'm like, the only way this is gonna happen
Was
is we use water.
Wait, did you tell me to do this or did we both agree on
We
this?
both did it together,
Okay.
right? Because like, oh yeah, we'll be fine. Don't worry, Ariane, we'll be fine. Ariane's probably was like, yeah, it's not the best idea.
I think I was
I
about
didn't know any
11 when this
better.
happened.
So there's me in the wash stall with Ariana, and we're just cleaning him, cleaning him. That poor horse just shook
Yeah, he
afterwards.
was. Yeah, 'cause I think I was 11 when this happened. He was so cold. So we put on his cooler and more blankets and more blankets. And I think Harry put hot water in his food. Not really hot water, like warm water. And I just took him into the arena and walked him around. And we came back. We put his Finn got his food watered down. So then we put warm water in his food. Oh yeah.
But I do remember when the coach came in and saw this and looked at me, and She looked at me and she gave me that look of, "You're
Uh-oh.
trying. I get it. You're trying. You're learning." And she was so nice about how she handled it. Besides saying, "You know what? You're an idiot. You should have been done." She was like, "You know what?
Mm-hmm.
You're trying. So maybe next time we're not going to use water. We're just going to leave it." So
Yep.
she handled it very well. And I personally wanted to crawl underneath a rock and hide for a month.
Because, by the way, it wasn't like, because dry mud you can just brush off. This was like wet, goopy mud, by the way. But
Yes. So that was like the real first kind of like, oops, I really don't know what I'm doing type moment that I had as a horse dad. There's actually quite a few different stories that I could definitely tell you about how I have improved and how I did something stupid, like putting on her jumping
this
boots
was this year actually.
backwards. That
Uh,
was even this year.
he was just helping me tack up. So I used to use boots on my horse, but they were long story short, boots are not for my horse. She uses Saratogas now, but like at the beginning of the show season, I did, and he was helping me tack up, and he put on her boots, and then I walked out of the stall. I'm like, your boots are on backwards. Thankfully, got it all fixed and went into the ring fine, but that happened this year.
So I now know how boots go on properly. So the moment I learned something, they switched to something new. What are we doing using now?
I would use the Saratogas, and then I also used the I don't know what they're called, but they're from Willow Equestrian. It's like when I'm flatting, it's like polo on the inside, and then it has like a similar thing to the Saratogas on the outside. I
Either way,
really like those ones.
it's something new for me to have to learn how to do.
Yep.
I swear, every time I finally figure out how to do something, you switch it, so I have to relearn it.
Yep. I even use two different things for jumping and flatting.
Oh man, you should have seen the first time I tried to freaking bridle Twinkles.
Okay. Well, that pony is a pain to bridle in the first place.
And he's a dream now compared to he
Oh,
used to be.
he's a dream now, but the Twinkles used to be an absolutely like.
Language.
Ugh. I wasn't even thinking about it.
Right? And I remember I was trying to bridle him, and he would just shift his head up.
Yeah, he would just go like.
Yeah. And I'm not, I am coordinated, but not coordinated enough that I can keep the bridle, pinch it over his nose, or
Not like pinch, but like like what he means is like when you hold it here and then like you hold it above his nose with the bit here so you can put the bit in. He
uh,
would just be like,
he shifts his head up or something like
yeah,
that.
because 7-year-old Ariana was not able to do
Right,
it
put it
herself.
side to side is the motion that you were, in case you didn't, in case this is on radio or whatever, or podcast or whatever. And the worst part of it all is he won't open his mouth. And I still remember my lovely wife Cindy's like, "Stick your finger in his mouth." I'm like, why in the am I going to stick a finger
Language.
in a horse's mouth? Like, I'm not stupid here. She's like, "No, you gotta stick it in the corner. There's no teeth there." I'm like, "I want to keep my finger." She's like, "No, trust me, just do it."
He was gonna swear there, I guarantee it.
So I end up sticking my finger in the corner of the mouth, and sure enough, he opened his mouth and somehow managed to get the bit in. And then, of course, he spit it back out, and we're back at square one.
You know what you should do one of these days?
What?
I think it's his turn to clean Twinkles' sheath.
No.
I think it's his. I think he
There's
needs to.
certain parts that I will leave to you guys.
He's tapping out. Little too scared.
Yes.
At least he admits it.
So I got better. Now I can do Twinkles no problem. He's still a bit of a pony,
Language.
pony. Or he's still a pony, but I'm able to do it on a regular basis. I can even do Ruby now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm comfortable with that. So I'm waiting for them to switch the bridle or something. So I have to relearn it all over again.
Is there a
But
way of saying you're gonna buy me a show bridle and a regular bridle? Thank you very much.
that's
Appreciate
a
it.
very, very fast no.
I know. Just
Why do
joking.
you need a show bridle? And why do you need a ring bridle or practice bridle?
I don't know. I don't need a show bridle. I don't want a show bridle. I'm perfectly fine with the way it is. That was just a
Yeah.
perfect point to make a
Do you
joke.
really think we had the money for that?
No, that's why I wouldn't ask for one.
Exactly. That's the girl that I know right there. She understands.
We
So,
always have Starbucks money though.
so can you think of another time? I
Just
told two
kidding.
stories here. Can you tell a story where you were proud or happy that I was there?
To do the Starbucks thing, there's always extra money for Starbucks somewhere. There's a will, there's a way to get Starbucks. If I could think of a story, um, like where I'm proud
Do
that you're my
do
horse
do
dad.
do do do
When he
do.
holds my horse at the side of the ring, my horse can be a huge pain at the side of the ring. She will not stand still. Like she'll just Ruby's Ruby, so I'm very proud that he will actually stand there with my horse, and my horse seems to be very calm around him. So very proud of that.
I think it's funny because when people always kind of ask, like, what do your kids do? I'm like, oh, they ride horses. And they give you that look like I'm crazy, right? Because I let my kids ride horses. And and then I also sometimes get a lot of comments like, oh, you actually go and watch your kids? Like, yeah, I support my kids. Or I get comments like, oh, I wish my parent would be as involved as I am, right? Get that?
Mm-hmm.
See, other people wish they had me,
Oh, I do love you.
right?
Very grateful for
Right?
you.
Even those days when I'm not pissing you off.
I don't know. Sometimes I go to the barn to be with my horse and enjoy my horse alone, and you're just standing there for 30 minutes while I'm tacking up. Just like it takes me so much longer to tack
Actually,
up now because I do the
I thought it was
wraps.
more me feeding him treats.
I do feeder treats before I ride. I always feed my horse treats after I ride, sometimes before I ride. And you'll just stand there petting my horse or just standing there hugging her. And I'm like, I love you, but please leave right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tack up. I got like 5 minutes left to be on for my lesson.
Anyway, so I get this people like saying as a horse dad, right? One that I'm crazy, or two that, um, and people like wish my parents were as involved. And sometimes I feel like there's a bit of a double standard, especially when double standard. Like when I go do something at the barn, no matter what it is no matter even if it's like I am showering Finn when I shouldn't have been, I still get praised, right? It's like I just show up and I'm suddenly just the world's best dad just because I showed up. My poor wife, Cindy, does 10 times more work than I do. She gets a quarter of what. So I always kind of find that interesting. The other thing I find interesting is when people say, oh, your kid's in riding. That must be expensive. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Okay, but I
Yep.
mentioned this earlier too. Same thing with
Is this school,
horses
by the
in
way?
school. Oh my god, you get the point of what I mean. Same thing in school. When I tell people I ride horses, it's either ew, you ride horses, or it's like, oh wow, you ride horses, that's cool. Or you ride horses? Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
continue.
Anyways, and then you're so supportive because I show up and everything, right? I spend the money. We get horses. You show
The
up
money he
and I
doesn't
do all
have.
that. But I swear, like, if this was hockey, if my kids were in hockey or baseball or basketball or football, all of it would be expected. I would be expected to spend all that money. I would be expected to be showing up to every hockey game. I would be expected to be yelling at the refs in hockey, right?
Yeah, except you'd totally be too scared to yell at the refs. He would be like, oh, that's too scary. But yeah.
True, because I don't yell, right? I do
Mm.
psychological warfare on her.
Oh yes,
Um,
absolutely
but it's funny,
psycholo
but because
can't
it's
pronounce that.
horses, it's not expected. And then when I do show up, it's like the world's best thing. Like I'm the worst best dad because I just showed up to the bar. But yet, it was any other major sport, it would be expected. And I think that sucks as a double standard here.
That is fair. Like very grateful that both my parents show up for me at this sport, but I can definitely like agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like although there's no way it could be in
Mm-hmm.
hockey because I physically
Mm-hmm.
cannot skate. I eat it every time without fail.
Right, man. I'm
I
kind of
look like a grandma. I'll use those little like skating
I
things.
never played
Yeah, I'm
hockey.
grandma.
All I wanted to do was play soccer.
Yeah, he was a
That
soccer
lasted
kid.
2
He was an
years.
egoist, guys.
Then we got into horses, and that was long gone. But
Uh,
so I find that kind of interesting. But getting back, like being a horse dad
Ooh,
is awesome, right? I get to look after the horses. I've learned to trailered. I can back up that trailer no problem. I now do campers. I muck. I bridle. I saddle. What else do I do? I feed. Anything else in there that I can do?
drive me
Right?
crazy.
Drive her crazy.
Then
It's
I
that
drive
is the
him
funnest
crazy.
part.
It's
That's
even
about.
funner driving him crazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, that's it. And at horse shows, it's changed so much, right? I went from a horse dad that was very involved, helped, put up, take down the tent, all that stuff. Now look after the horses, make sure she's tacked up. But
On
now that she's
time.
older, she does that all herself.
Yeah, I
So I don't know what to do anymore sometimes at horse shows, besides
yeah,
cook and feed her, right? And
yeah.
then deal with her when she gets moody.
I'm not actually. Depends on how my ride went that day. Like, I mean, no matter what, I will take care of my horse. Like, I'll have a bad ride. I'll get my horse done, bathed in her stall, then I'll head back to the camper, and I'll just be like, everybody, leave me alone. I just want to sit there and like watch a show or TikTok or like
Mm-hmm.
rewatch the video like a bajillion times.
Mm-hmm.
I can make it
Mm-hmm.
like,
And then she disappears with her friends, and I don't see her for 6 hours until it's
yeah,
10 o'clock at
we'll leave at
night.
like 7, and then they make me come
Best
back at ten
six
thirty.
hours ever, though.
Mm-hmm. Like, or sometimes like because I ride at the end of the day. I'm always no, except the last day of the horse show, I'm the first class of the day, which is amazing. But I'm usually like the
Mm-hmm.
second or last class of the day. So then I sometimes I literally finish my class, do my horse, head back, grab a snack, and then I'll like go out with my friends. It'll be like from 5 to 10:30 because
And
they make me come back at 10:30.
she abandons us, and I just kind of walk around aimlessly because I have nobody else. But it's funny if you see another dad, it is so easy to start a conversation. Like I
Mm-hmm.
have now dad bros at the horse show that I see on a regular basis where I stop and talk because we have this big thing in common. It's actually kind of
Yeah.
cool that way.
Also, I can only this is a little bit off topic, but I can only think of like 3 male riders that I know now. Where do they all come from? Like they automatically just like spawn in the meter 20s. Like how is that possible? Like all of a sudden it's like all females. All of a sudden you reach like the meter 20s, and it's like they just are there. How?
We talking about like the male riders.
Yeah, like all of a
They
sudden
just show up.
they just spawn in the meter 20s.
Mm.
I can think of like 3 I've seen at the horse shows that aren't in like the 20s. I don't know how it's possible. They just spawn.
And they come out of nowhere. Isn't that the way with the boys go? Or is anyways,
Hmm?
right? And they stand there and poof, they come out of nowhere. And next thing you know, you're bringing home a boy, and I'm gonna be like, God, oh no, horses are supposed to keep you out of that for a
Oh
while.
my gosh.
Parties, horses are supposed to keep you out. That's what everyone keeps telling me. Being a horse dad, the nice thing about it is keeps your daughter away from boyfriends and parties for a
Oh
little
my
bit.
gosh.
I'm testing that theory out now.
Oh my gosh. I was late to semi formal because of riding. Because I had my lesson. I was going to go back and ride for semi formal. But my horse got so sweaty. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to cool out for an extra while. And then I'd like to poultice and wrap her and do all that kind of stuff after my lesson. So I was 45 minutes late to semi formal. I got there like 15 minutes before the doors closed.
Well, it's
I
also
was
good to
really
know
late.
that you're putting your horse first above your personal life. Way to go
Mm-hmm.
on that.
Thank you. Like, I got home and I had 45 minutes to get ready, but I still had to shower and then do my hair, makeup, outfit.
And how long?
45 minutes.
Oh my God, she did it in 40
I
minutes.
didn't.
45
I was
minutes.
45 minutes
Woo!
late.
Stop the presses. Oh, that's amazing.
I was 45 minutes late. I did not do it in 40 minutes. And I had to shave my legs too. Like, I, I was late.
Wait, you shave your legs?
I did. I never shaved them in the winter, but I did
Mm.
it for semi formal.
So this is what I'm starting to go through. No, that horse dad started off with a young little girl. Now she's turned into her teenager, into high school. This is all new to me. Hopefully, she still sticks with the horses and the showing, so I can continue to be a horse dad that evolves and gets better. Mainly because they always keep changing on what they use.
Nah, I'm gonna be a NHL hockey player next week. Guess you're gonna be a hockey dad now.
I actually think I'd rather be a horse dad.
Me too, man. Me too. Horses are the best.
So, anyways, so just what it's like to be a horse dad. It's pretty damn cool. To any other dad who's afraid to come out, just
That
ask your
sounds wrong.
question. I'll let you know what it's like and how to answer it, how to be around the horses, how to give them treats. I can help you get through your anxiety. Because trust me, when you make it to the horse show and you spend some time there and you start meeting some other horse dads, and before you know it, you're sitting around a barbecue, drinking beer with them, and watching them take 6 hours to cook a piece of chicken because I can't remember why it took them so long. Ran out of propane and some other stuff. But you know what? It was a fun couple hours that we had. So
Yeah.
come, the horse dads, come join us. Let's have some fun.